Hello, family. Listen, I hope that you are keeping dry. Yeah, I am enjoying myself here. I am relaxing. One of the things I love to do is when it rains, I love to watch me a good movie, okay? I watch me a good movie and I relax and I take a time out, I guess, from life. I don't watch TV a whole lot. But when it rains, I make it a point to relax. So I was watching this movie or looking for a good movie, and Netflix delivered. Okay, Netflix delivered, guys. This movie is called Clickbait. Clickbait. If you have not seen this movie, and I'm not even finished it yet, but it is so good. It's a series of episodes, okay? And it is a Netflix original. So I'm assuming that means that you can only find it on Netflix. I'm learning that all of these, not all of the apps, but most of the apps have originals. So there is a Roku original. There is a Netflix original. So that means that that episode or those movies are specific to that app, okay? So anyway, so it's called Clickbait, right? So good. So good. I'm excited. Okay, so far, now I'm going to try to share some things, but I don't want to give it away because I want you to watch it. It is so good, and it is so relevant for today's times, right? Because what happens is there's a guy who's going to work. He rides the bike every day, but this one day he left off. He left in the morning just like he usually does, right? And he went to work riding his bike. Well, he never made it to work. He never made it to work. He never made it to his meetings. And so people hadn't seen him. But all of a sudden this video pops up, right? This video, obviously a video on social media. And he's holding these signs. Like, it looks like he had been beaten up. And he's holding these big signs, right? And so, and it says, "I am an abuser of women," right? That's what the first sign says. Then he flips it. "I killed a woman," right? Then he flips the sign. And it says, "When I hit 5 million likes, I will be killed," right? And so, of course, with that statement, "I am an abuser of women," people went crazy. Yeah, I hope you get what you deserve. And so everywhere you turn, people were watching this video. Everywhere you turn, people were watching this video, right? So, do you think it went viral? Yeah, because it's the talk of the town, right? And so the video goes viral. Again, remember it says, "When I hit 5 million likes, I will be killed because I'm an abuser and I have killed a woman," right? Those were his signs. So while they're investigating what happened, because I don't want to give away too much, while they're investigating, they discover that this man who is married, who has a nice home, who lives in a nice neighborhood, who has 2 kids, 2 boys, while they discover that he has a whole new life in a whole new city, guys. Whole new life, and not just the whole new life in another city, but he has multiple women that he's been dealing with. See, I'm trying really, really hard not to give this out, but and I need to finish it anyway, but it's crazy how you think you know a person, but you don't know a person. Yeah. So anyway, guys, this movie, so Clickbait, if you have not seen it, you absolutely need to see it. So anyway, he was married. His wife, of course, was like, "No, he's the sweetest man you ever met." Some of his co-workers are close, people who are in his close circles. "Oh no, he would never hurt anybody." But again, they're learning that he had a mistress in Los Angeles. He's been dealing with all of these different women. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to come back and tell you the rest, but I don't want to give away too much because it is such a good movie. You really, really need to see it. Lots of suspense. So right now things are rolling out where people are, coming out of the woodwork, if you will. The women that he's dealt with. They're coming out of the woodworks, right, to say that they've had a relationship with him. And this is all a shock to his family, right? And not only that, you know, yeah, it's a shock to the family. So, and not only that, he's a coach. He's a coach of a women's team. Okay, so I am interested in seeing which way this is going to go, guys. So, but if you have not watched this movie already, you need to watch it. Clickbait. I stayed up all night watching as much as I can. I was so anyway, I'm going to continue and I'll be right back. So listen, while the truth is coming out and people are coming out of the woodworks, right? The wife is having all of these reflections or these memories, right? And she's remembering the red flags, right? Listen, guys, there are always red flags when you're dealing with an abuser, when you're dealing with anyone. There are always red flags. Now, you can choose to ignore them, you can dismiss them, but there are always red flags. And one of the things I've learned is if you ignore red flags, it will cost you dearly, okay? So the wife is having all of these reflections on, you know, what signs she saw and didn't pay attention to and didn't act on, okay? So in the meantime, there's this journalist, right? And this journalist is so hungry for success that he's willing to throw anybody under the bus. He's willing to break boundaries. Like, he is so, not only does he throw people under the bus, but he chased the bus in an effort to have a title or earn a position, right? He is hungry for success that he's so hungry for success that he's willing to hurt anyone and everyone, and he doesn't care who gets in his way, right? So this journalist discovers that one of the women that the husband was dealing with, she committed suicide, right? She committed suicide, and then he also discovers that she has a brother, and she was close to her brother, right? So then the question is, where's the brother? So he goes on a quest to find this brother, and he sees, he breaks into the brother's house. And I'm trying not to give all of this away, right? The whole movie, because it is such a good movie, right? So this journalist breaks into the house, which I know if a regular citizen can't just break into somebody's house, darn sure a journalist, but it goes to show you how he was willing to break that, he was willing to cross that boundary, right? Hungry for success in the wrong way, right? So he breaks into the brother's house, and this brother is like, he seems to be like a raging maniac. Like, you can tell he has a bad temper, right? And in my opinion, when people have a raging temper, they're likely to kill. Like, they don't have a problem with it, and sometimes they can snap, right? Because of the rage. The rage is a part of who they are right now, and unless he decides to change, which he obviously is not. Anyway, so the journalist breaks into this brother's house, and he sees a box that has the sister who committed suicide, her stuff in it, including the cell phone. So what did the journalist do? He steals the cell phone, right? And the brother's coming home, so the brother starts getting high, so he's in his zone, and so then the journalist sneaks out the door, but he heard the door close, and he goes chasing after the guy. To make a long story short, he didn't catch the guy. Of course, he didn't know who the guy was until he saw the guy giving the wife, interviewing the wife. Okay, so the brother of the woman who committed suicide is watching the news. All of them are watching the news, and they see this journalist interviewing the wife, right? And the journalist mentions the brother's sister who committed suicide, right? He mentions the mistress name, and he mentions the text messages that he found on her phone, guys. So this is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be, now I'm curious about whether or not the brother is going to go after the journalist. I'm curious about who these other women are who are confessing to having relations with this dude, including one of the girls on the soccer team. So I'm just really curious. And that's what I love about a good movie. Like, I don't like to guess what's going to happen and then it happens. No, I want to have some suspense, you know. I want to guess, and then I want to be wrong about it, right? So anyway, I'm curious to see whether or not this brother is going, because now the brother knows who the guy is and where he works. He knows who he is, who broke into his home. So, and then he knows that this dude stole his sister's cell phone that has all of her pictures and her videos of herself. All of that stuff is in that cell phone. So now I'm curious about whether or not the brother is going to go after the journalist. Guys, I'm trying not to give it all away. Again, this movie is called Clickbait. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. I'm still watching it. So I will be back soon. Guys, listen, I think that it is extremely sad that this dude's sister committed suicide because she was so in love with a man. Let me just say that, and I'm just going to say it, no man or no woman or no person should ever get you to a place where you feel like life is not worth living because you're not able to be with that person. Listen, there is always someone better, okay? There is always someone better, okay? So your life is worth more, okay? So if someone is not able to see your worth, then you have to learn to let them go, okay? But what I wanted to say is that there is a national suicide lifeline. If you feel like you want to take your life, there is a national lifeline, and it is available 24/7, for people to talk to you, for people to help you problem solve and see your way through. Sometimes when you're in the midst of the storm, it is very difficult to see through the storm, okay? So that's why you need people to talk to, okay? So there's no such thing as there's no one to talk to. There's no one for me. So someone has been through what you're going through. And like I said, that there's always help available. So the National Suicide Hotline, the telephone number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. And their support or someone available 24 hours and 7 days a week, because heartbreak is heartbreak, okay? But just know that there's someone else has been through it and lived through it, number one, and then there's always help available, okay? Suicide should never be the answer, especially not for a man or a woman or anyone for that matter. Suicide should not be on the table, and there's always hope available, okay? So anyway, the police goes after the brother of the woman who committed suicide, right? And he is arrested only after a chase, right? As he's sitting in the interrogation room, he starts remembering the events that led up to him being there, right? And, just when you think, okay, this is it, he's the killer, what's the rest of the narrative? Like, what's the rest of the events? If he's it, that means the movie's over, right? Not. Because guess what? I'm not going to tell you. To make a long story short, though, he is not the killer. They did the viral video. They created the viral video. And then, but what happened was, after they reached the 5 million, remember, there was a pause. There was a long period of time where nothing happened before they found the guy's body, right? To make a long story short, he didn't kill the guy. And see, this is what I love about a good movie. I love the twist of events. I love when they can't figure out, or when you think it's someone, but then it turns out to not be. And at this point, guys, the killer could be anyone, right? It could be this little suspicious guy who keeps coming around the family. He may be that little jealous friend who smiles in your face, but he really wants everything that you have, right? Or she. So it could be that person who it could be It could be the sister, Pia. It could be the sister. You know, we don't know. She had a big fight or blow up with the brother the night before. They were having dinner. He kicked her out of the house, told her he didn't want to see her. He didn't want her in his life anymore. So it could be the sister, right? So it could be this jealous friend. It could be the sister. It could be one of the followers, right? Because sometimes people take them things really, really serious, right? Remember, they were trying to hit 5 million, and then they said that he was an abuser. So it could have been somebody who was who had seen his picture on the video, and they said he killed the woman. He was an abuser. So it could have been a follower or someone who was tracking the whole story the whole time, right? It could have been whoever photoshopped. Remember, he said that wasn't him in the pictures. So it must have been whoever photoshopped him, right? So it could have been them, or it could have been, let's see, there are different suspects, guys. So I am so excited about it, this movie. I love it when I can't figure out who did it. I love it when there's a series of twisted events that you didn't see coming, and you're like, whoa, wait, where did that come from? Who did, you know? So right now, like the two guys, so the two guys that they caught, the brother of the one who committed suicide, they did the first portion. So they did have the guy holding the signs, but when he told them that the somebody had photoshopped, somebody had put his picture with all of these different women, sounds like somebody's framing him, guys. So they cropped out the wife picture and put all these different women in the picture with put the guy who got killed in the picture with all these different women, and then all of these profiles have different names. Kind of, I guess is that catfish? Anyway, the point is that, so he's saying that no, somebody photoshopped my picture, and it has to be someone who I'm close to, because I've only told one person that my wife committed adultery, right? So the question is, who is this one person that he told, right? He didn't tell him who it is, but the brother's still alive. Maybe the brother can find out, and he'll find out who his sister was, killed herself over. So, ooh, guys, you have to see Clickbait. I'm telling you, you have to see Clickbait. If you love suspense, if you love action, if you love, it's more suspense than it is action, though. But I love that. I love trying to figure out who did what, or who's guilty, you know. So I cannot wait to see who is this, who is it, guys. So right now, at this point in the story, the brother released the guy who was killed, and the guy who was killed is just running, trying to get back home, I guess, and he doesn't have a cell phone. So, and then so the police right now have the brother at the station, so he confessed, I did not do it. I didn't do it. I don't know who did. I let him go. So we'll see, guys. So again, like I said, it's either the sister Pia who he had to blow up with. It's either this friend who keeps coming around. He's like that friend who just pops up, you know, sits at the dinner table, talks to him or whatever, you know, talks to the family. He knows the family. Okay, so it could be a little jealous friend that's right beside him, you know. So I don't know. We will see. It could be someone who was abused. It could be a female. It could be a female who was abused, and so now she hates all abusers, right? She hates all men, I guess I should say. So anyway, this is getting to be really, really, see, just when I think I saw the best of it, it's getting even better, okay? I'll be right back. I don't want to share it all. I'm trying to hold it, but I do want to give you a gist of what's happening in this movie so you will see how exciting it is. All right, guys. So you will never guess who the killer was. Oh my goodness. It was somebody that I would have never suspected, right? Never suspected them of even having a motive to kill him, right? I loved it. As the story unfolded, right, it turned out that all of these pictures, all these people who he was photoshopped within the picture had never even met him. So the women who accused him, or the women who they portrayed as being in contact with him, turned out that the women never even seen Nick. They never had even met the guy who was killed, right? So that ruled all of them out. Remember the brother whose sister committed suicide? He was ruled out because he was like, I didn't do it. I let him go, right? So remember, he was ruled out. Okay. Then you had the other people who could have been suspects. Like there's somebody who kept texting the sons, digging for information. So then they could have been catfishing the sons just like they were catfishing the father. It could have been the jealous friend who was always at the table, probably jealous of his life. Like, it could have been anybody, but I'm telling you, you would have never guessed who the real killer was, right? Now, see, I know you guys are like, who was it? Who was it? But I'm not going to tell you who it was because I think you should watch it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this movie between a 9 and a 10, okay? Yeah, I would give it between a 9 and a 10. And the reason why I did not give it a full 10 is because I really think they should have created this movie to be a sequel or to have another episode, I guess, if you will, or another season, I should say. This movie, Clickbait, is one season and it has 8 episodes, right? I like it when they create movies so that they can extend it to be another season, especially when they're really, really good. I think that, yeah, let's make this thing so that we can make a season 2 if possible, right? So I really think they should have created that particular Clickbait movie to be I should think they should have ended it in a way that they could have created a sequel, a season 2, okay? And I say that because it was such a good movie, and it was such a good movie that's relevant for today, okay? They had a diverse group of relationships. They had social media, you know, that's the big, big thing. I love that they captured the whole catfish thing and the dangers of it. So I really, really think that they could really, really take that movie and then implement some of the things that are happening as it relates to social media. And they could have created an ongoing seasons of videos. So movies. So I just really, really think that's the only reason why I didn't give it a 10, because I think it could have been a season 2. And I'm really hoping it is a season 2, but if it is, it'll be a total different spin-off of because the way they ended it, there was no continuation, I guess, if you will. So, but overall, Clickbait is a very good movie on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, it is a must-see. This was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. And listen, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. I am going to probably do some more of these because I enjoy watching movies. When I do these, though, I really don't want to give all the information away. So I hope I did a good job with that because I don't want to be a spoiler. You know what I mean? I'd rather tease you a little bit and then encourage you to watch it because you know, it was a good movie. And listen, if you've watched this movie, go ahead and comment in the sections below. Comment in the comment section, I should say, whether or not you enjoyed the movie. Let us know, guys. And then let us know when you're watching, where you're watching from in the comments, guys. All right, guys, that's it for this movie review. Like I said, it was a great movie, I think. Anyway, thanks you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.